Welcome to Just Our Imagination Challenge. Hello everyone, this is Beth with PearlTreasureDesigns here once again with today's challenge collaboration. We're going to get right into the crafting today, but we will have more to say about our wonderful hosts and co-hosts later on this video. So let's head to the craft studio and see what we got going on. DIY number 1. This challenge we had to use a funnel, so I had cut a funnel to make a mold, and napkin and tinfoil. So I've decided that I'm going to make a couple of different candle trays using UV resin, which is hard resin that requires a UV light. And I'm going to make these little candle stands. So this one I've decided to make out of a watermelon napkin using my funnel as a mold and using the resin first. So I'm going to put this in fast motion because this took me some time to figure out to get it to move around the silicone base. So you can see me trying to move that resin around, and then I'm going to decide right here to use a pin to take out air bubbles and then move the resin around the edges for a thin layer on the base so that I could then place the napkin before I put the UV light on it to harden it. So I'm going to let you watch this for a minute, and that way you get to see the process of what I'm doing. It does take some time to move this resin around and to get all the air bubbles out of it. Now that I'm placing the napkin on top of the first layer of resin, the idea is to seal this into the center of the resin mold. And I did use the pin to try and line that up on the resin before it gets hardened. And then I'll use the round end of the pin to work out any air bubbles that might be keeping the napkin from laying flat, incorporating the resin. And so this took a little time, but it worked out relatively well. And I just was working it around the edges to make sure that I could seal it properly. And then the last section is putting on resin to cover the napkin for the inside of the candle holder. And then I'll work that around the edges all the way to the edge because I can take the cutting shears and a nail file and smooth those edges once this has been cured. So lessons learned. I am of the mindset that I probably should have used the UV light before putting the napkin on and then brushing resin on the napkin, and then the UV light again, and then the resin. And welcome to Just Our Imagination Challenge with our hosts, Kathy Jo from Kathy Jo's DIY, Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY, and co-host Simply Blessed Crafts. So today, I would love for you to visit each of their channels. They have some wonderful things going on. And be sure to subscribe, like, and share their channels. We are a community of crafters and it helps grow each of our channels. So let's go ahead and do that and be part of the solution by supporting each other's channels. And be sure to look at the other playlist participants and their channels as well. We have some very creative designers and crafters here. You'll also find links in my description box to each of their channels, so be sure to check that out. So now I'm getting ready to put the UV light over this first candle holder. I did put it on for a full 3 minutes, and then I ended up doing this several times to make sure that it could work its way through the napkin. It really requires relatively clear backdrop, so the red matte made it very hard for the UV light to harden the bottom layer. So I did end up having to go ahead and flip that around and harden the other side with another round of running it through the UV light. And yeah, I had some snafus with the plug, and I'm wanting y'all, I was a hot mess this day. I'm not gonna lie. So this took, again, like I said, 3 minutes, and it did take several times for me to feel comfortable that it was hardening correctly. Y'all, I am such an impatient crafter. This is like watching paint dry for me. So I am, you know, antsy, just antsy. It's that time, guys. If you like what you've seen so far and you'd like to see more of it, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. DIY number 2. I have been waiting to use this new machine that I got. I think I picked it up at Hobby Lobby for, I don't know, 60 or 70% off. And I've been collecting die cuts but not using them. So this gave me the perfect opportunity to break this in. So I chose this flower template to cut the tinfoil that I had from, it's literally tinfoil for like hairdos or whatever. That's what I had hanging around. And I wanted it thin enough that it wouldn't be a problem for the resin. So they just came out stunning. I really, really like using this machine, and the thin tinfoil worked out very well. So I cut 3 of those for my design. The process was basically the same with the funnel as the mold and taping it down onto the silicone mat. The first layer of resin I poured down and made it, you know, relatively thin. And I did go ahead and use a different napkin for the barrier on this one. It could have been clear, but I did want to have some opaqueness to this candle holder so that the tinfoil or the silver would show through. Now this process is going to be exactly the same as the first one, just with different elements. And spreading the resin around, I did increase the speed on this. There's no need to watch paint dry, you get the idea. And then picking out and poking any of the air bubbles so that they don't show through. And there I'm putting the napkin or the paper towel. I did want to put a little tiny bit layer of resin, and I had more left in this bottle, so I'm going to put that in there before I put the silver tinfoil flowers down. It does look clear in this picture, but once it is cured and dried with a UV light, it is opaque, and you can see the silver flowers really well. The resin did warm up, and it did cause the tinfoil to kind of curl a little bit inside the candle holder, so it looks like the flowers are opening. I just love how this came out. And there you get to see the resin hardening. Here is the final reveal. You can see the white edges. I did go around that with alcohol and took it right off. And these came out great. I did use rubber stoppers on the bottom, so they are non-skid. So you want to keep those candles nice and secure on those candle holders. And breaking news, I have a new channel called kells-shenanigans. Go ahead and check it out. We're doing gardening and all kinds of stuff. And check out What the Tuckers. She's got a new channel too. You know, kells-shenanigans, we're going to focus on baking and cooking and canning and gardening and anything else that doesn't seem like it's everyday life, you know? We've got to live this life, guys. So let's do this life together and let's have fun doing it. I've got recipes of the month coming up, and you'll get to see what that's all about when you go to kells-shenanigans. Hey there, thanks for watching. A big shout out to all my subscribers out there. And to each one who gave a thumbs up and commented, that really helps us all grow our channels so we can continue to bring this amazing content. I have a favor to ask though. Could you please like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel? Together we can make this a better place to do life. Until next time, see you later.